Hello and welcome back to the Creator Shelf, and I am here in Brussels. Thank you for joining me and welcome back. It's interesting. I've been trying to film this video, and no matter what I do, I can't get the camera right. So it's one of those evenings where I was just like, okay, I have to give up and just try and do the best I can. And so yeah, welcome back, and welcome to new subscribers. As you might have guessed already, I do a lot on tarot and oracle decks. Hopefully switching it back to early next year to a bit more on books as well. So there's some books that I would like to start kind of like looking at and reviewing and suggesting, and just kind of like mixing it up a bit. But this week's video is a bit hilarious because basically, yes, it's as the title says, it's about my birthday haul, kind of like failure, basically. It's a bit of a failure. But so this is what happened, right? Was basically at the beginning of the year, what I decided was that I would put some money aside for my birthday, and I'd just build it up. And my birthday is at the end of October. And I just build it up, and then so therefore when I was ready to have like a giant haul for my birthday, like, you know, I had the bit of money put aside. So I did do that, and I have bought quite a few decks. So just to be really, really honest and clear and transparent, I have bought quite a few. And then this is how the last few weeks have been, which is I've just been really busy with trying to do some planning, trying to submit proposals regarding work and stuff. And I kind of like just sat there looking at all these decks thinking, I just don't have time, basically. And what's really, really weird is that I realized that there were some decks that I still haven't opened. Basically, they're still in their plastic. And it's really good for me to say this. And you might think, why are you saying this on video? It's basically because, you know, I'm hearing a lot. It's something I haven't been part of in this YouTube community, is depth, yeah. But what's really funny is that I began the Curated Shelf on the basis that it's actually not to do so much with what we buy. It's more actually initially to do with what we read and put into our heads. And the reason why I did that was because I do some work, personal work, with myself receiving guidance, but also providing guidance to other people. And I won't go into it too much, but one of the things that comes up very often is that I need to talk to people about their routines. And then once we get into it, I start to discover that like there is like so much unhealthiness. And a theme that I saw, which I can suffer from myself as well, is definitely part of our social media world, but also just general world, is the things that we read and the things that are absorbed via content. And I kind of like realized that there's just, and I see it myself as well, there's just so much out there which I personally don't find healthy or invigorating, or how can I put it, energizing. I find it kind of like almost sucking away. and so I'm on social media, right? So you're like, why are you on social media? But this channel was kind of like born out of kind of like, what do I put into my mind? What do I absorb? Is it healthy or not? And that kind of thing. And I kind of like have gone through a journey on my own shelf. You know, I used to read. I've always read a lot since I was a child. Like I think many people that would gravitate towards like channels like mine, right? But I read a lot, like huge amounts. And there was times in my life where I had like 2,000 or 3,000 books, you know, and it wasn't done on purpose. I didn't go out there and buy all those books all at one time. I just accumulating, you know, and it was kind of like, I remember going through a massive declutter then, and now I've kept it more kind of like increasingly like, what do I need? What am I reading? I do always keep books for me that kind of like a special in terms of they might be representing a period in my life. So I might not be reading that book, but it really has a lot of nostalgia in it, and I will keep it then. But what does it have to do with my birthday, right? It's a bit of a ramble here. So anyway, right, I thought that like for this year I'm gonna have a nice good, you know, like buy quite a few decks and stuff, because I don't normally like monthly buy huge amounts of decks in one go. I might buy one or two, but I won't be buying a dozen or something like that. I just, A, I can't afford it, to be very honest, and B, I don't have the space for it. I literally like just don't have the space for it. So it's funny, I bought all these decks, and even then I was thinking, wait, it might be a bit too much, because where am I going to put them? But I was really glad what I bought. But what was funny was that because I was so busy, I just have not had the time to enjoy them. That's the word I was trying to get to. I have not had the time to enjoy them and to give them the proper attention that I think that they deserve, basically. And not because of it being an item and not worshipping an item or anything like that, but more in terms of, if I purchase something, I want to be able to actually enjoy it for what it is, rather than tearing open the wrapper, looking at it, which has happened many times in my life. That's not a new thing, that's happened. Tearing open the wrapper, going, great, and then 5 minutes later it's shoved in a corner, in the cupboard, in a drawer, on the shelf, God knows where. It's just shoved to the side. And you know, for a long time, even before the pandemic, I began to really address that. Like, it's been a journey. But well, a year before, like 2 years before the pandemic, actually, I began to like really look at like what's happening here. And it's been a journey, and I won't go into all of that here, but like the birthday haul was like a pretty weird thing that I think I realize now I did, because I'm not used to hauls anymore. I'm just not used to buying like these huge amounts of items, you know, and then getting overwhelmed by it, basically. I mean, and it's been weird. So anyway, today's video was just a little bit kind of like of where I'm at, because I thought one of my videos this month would be like my birthday haul, right? And showing you everything that I bought and thinking, yeah, that's gonna be good fun as well and good content to do. And something I still want to do, by the way. It's not like I don't want to do that kind of like showing what I've bought, but it just didn't pan out that way. It's kind of like, you know, I've still got about 6 decks sitting in plastic, basically. It's just like, oh dear. And that's strange for me. And I'm very grateful I've got them. They're beautiful decks, gorgeous decks. And the indie decks that I bought, except bar one, which is a funny situation, the rest of them, the customer service was wonderful. So I've really had like a really great experience buying all of this stuff and being able to get it. I shouldn't say buy it, just being able to get it and to have it, and as a gift basically for myself. But it's been weird. It's like I'm not appreciating the gifts in a way that I thought I could, and that's led me to really think like, okay, I'm not sure I'll be doing hauls, let me just say that way. So this channel might not be really one where you'd be like, oh, it's another haul or something. It's like, I don't think so. And, you know, and that touches a little bit on this whole depthier thing, but I have never participated in one of those because it's just not how I live my life. It's not something I'm anti depthier or anything like that. No way. I appreciate that it has helped a lot of people and they love it, and it's given a lot of food for thought, I think, for many. But it's just not how my being works, I think. So the best way I can say it is that, like, you know, I'm not doing anything like I'm doing a depthier or something, and that's why I don't do hauls. It's just more kind of like having huge amounts of stuff and then not knowing what I'm going to do with it is not really a great feeling for me. I think these days it's strange, right? So habits change. So yeah, so I thought I would just show kind of like one deck that I have managed to open and look through. And the reason being was because this deck was ordered right at the beginning of September, and it was meant to be for my birthday. It didn't arrive for my birthday. I did contact Book Depository and they said, yeah, we think it's lost in the post too. And so they dispatched a second one, and the second one did arrive, and it only arrived about a week ago. And I've not had much chance to look at it, but it is the Marielle. So this is just one of the decks that I've purchased out of like a dozen basically. But this is a sliver of my haul. And this is the second edition. I didn't get the first edition, obviously. But what's interesting is that it came and then I opened it, and the last review I saw, because I've seen many reviews, of course, of the Marielle, but the last review I saw was Danny Mystic's review, which is excellent as always. I love listening to Danny Mystic. She's got a lovely way of presenting, so I like listening to her. She did this review of the Marielle, and it was really great. And I also know that she has let go of the Marielle as well. I think divested it basically, and I think she'd given her reasons for it. I think it was just not meant for her, something like that. So I can't put words in her mouth, but it was interesting for me to see the journey of Danny having the deck and then deciding, okay, it's not for me. But in the meantime, basically, the deck that I received, I was a little bit surprised. So this is the backs, and as you can see, there you've already got a scuff, and I've heard many people say that the backs scuff very quickly, and mine did too, right, literally right from the get-go. But what's interesting is it's got this shiny silver gilding, and I was not expecting it, and I was just like, oh dear. And it's not because I just don't like, it's not that I don't like gilding. I like gilding. Like, I've also got the Touchstones Tarot by Cat Black, and that's got gilding, but it's lovely. And I've got the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and it's got gilding, but it's lovely. But I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of Schiffer gilding. I'm not a huge fan of Schiffer cardstock, as you all know. But the gilding on this, right? What's happening is that it's coming off on my hands. So anyway, I think this might be getting a haircut, you know, under my Fisker's guillotine. But in the meantime, this is one of the decks that I bought, and I have to say, I do find it absolutely beautiful. The colors are gorgeous. Now, this is not my normal type of color palette, to be very clear. I'm someone that I like bold, bright colors, but also like a sharpness of line, and it's taken me a while to realize what I gravitate towards. And I prefer sharp lines, and yeah, but so this is not my normal art, but saying that, it's beautiful art. So it's really pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I've been looking at it. And this is the sad bit, right? So I've had this now only for 10 days. It's very new to me. And she needs some time, actually. I think she needs time. I'm not even sure it's a she. It might be a they. I feel like that it's a they. But they need time. And I need time with them. And I know people say it takes time to bond with this deck, that it's not really to really absorb it. But one of the things that I think that really showed me that perhaps I won't be doing that many hauls in the future, or might be doing hauls but every now and then maybe, is that I saw the guidebook, and that was what surprised me more than anything else. Was I didn't realize that the guidebook has so much in it. I mean, it is an amazing guidebook. So this is 2 of discs, and this is already some outline of what we see. But then they really go into kind of like linking that card with other cards in the deck, providing keywords. And I'm not sure about the layout of the book. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like it when another card begins as one ends on the same page. I know that sounds a bit weird, but I'm not a huge fan of that. But saying that, I think that it has been done so well. Like, I was really impressed by the guidebook in itself. And the reason why I say that is because I've realized that because I don't have much time, I'm not appreciating it for what it is. And therefore I feel a bit disappointed, not in the deck, but in myself a little bit. Like, okay, so I'm not sure what the common thread of this video is, other than I discovered in the last few weeks that hauls might not be for me. And it's not a huge revelation, right? And I'm sure it's not going to send you all off into kind of like, we must change our ways too. That's not what this is about at all. No way. It's more kind of like a bit of kind of like revealing who I am. And what I've also realized is that when I have enjoyed decks that I have bought, kind of like, you know, I went through a period in the summer where I did buy quite a few in one go. And I think I did a video then of like new decks in my collection. I showed you a few of them. Was that when I do that and they're a little bit, I don't know how to put it, but spread, or they come at a pace, it just makes more sense rather than this huge kind of like bang. I don't know what that was all about, basically. So anyway, this is a little bit of a midweek chat. This is about my birthday haul epic failure. Not much epic, but I'm not sure if it's even a failure, but a birthday haul learning, that's for sure. And glad that you joined me. Hopefully, like, you know, if you have the Marielle, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, because I know so many people have had this deck. I know so many people have bonded with it, and it's been through time, and it's been through kind of like a lot of I mean, the colours in this are gorgeous, actually, the colours in this card. But I know it's been through like a journey. And I heard somebody once even talk about, you know, them spending a month with it and really, really kind of like, you know, it was a special time in their tarot world journey, however you want to put it. But yeah, I do think that the art is stunning. And actually, more than anything, I'm kind of like a little bit annoyed that I don't have enough time to spend with it. Basically, that's the reality. But when I have that feeling, that means that I need to make time. I need to, again, look at my priorities. I don't see I don't want to see self-care, because that's a bit of a, I think it's an overused and also confusing term. But I don't want what I need to do for grounding, what I do need to do for centering, to be shoved to the side. So I'm starting to feel as if, like, you know, I just want to make sure that my practice also doesn't suffer too much when I've got other things on my plate. It's an interesting time for me right now, not just work-wise, but personally, myself doing some personal work, but also helping others and supporting others in their journey. And it is sometimes, you know, it's kind of like when I have to balance my energies. That's the best way I can put it. Balance my energies so that I can, the best of me shows up in the spaces that I'm meant to show up. And it's not perfect. No way is that perfect. But, you know, that's what this is about, right? Learning, always, that's a fantastic word. Always learning, always adapting, I guess, to what's right in front of me. So I want to thank you all and say thank you for the support on this channel as well. This time last year, I actually quit doing YouTube videos for about 6 months because it was just so difficult with everything that was going on. And this year, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to be part of the community, continue to produce content that people might find helpful, or at least having takeaways. And it's a bit of a ramble, but I have noticed sometimes people, like, you know, they want walkthroughs done in a certain way, or and I don't know what I can offer right now, other than there is content planned for 2022, which will be looking at symbols. We'll be looking at a very concretized, what we say in French, concrétisé, concretized, a very methodological journey, which I'm planning actually to do for this channel with the viewers here. I'm doing it for myself actually, as well as for others, but for me it's going to be fun and interesting, and I think it would be nice for me to really walk through it with other people on this channel, so that there is some, hopefully, fingers crossed, good content coming through for next year. But you know, I just want to say thank you everybody for supporting me, and I'm sure the Marielle has come into my life for the right reasons. So see you soon. See you on Saturday. Bye now.